So let's move on to our fourth point, which is do we think that Casey Thompson is the 2.0 version of Adrian Martinez? Now, let me just say that in the heat of the fourth quarter, I obviously verbalized that in the house as we were watching the game. Um, at that time, I thought he was, and upon rewatching the game, he was actually pretty good.
Yep.
Even most of the way through the second half, he was really good, really accurate. When his guys were had any kind of a step on the guy that was covering him, he was putting the ball where it needed to be. So, my apologies to Casey. I don't think he's Adrian Martinez 2.0. I thought he had an outstanding game for his debut for the Huskers, and it should have been over 400 yards.
Yep.
You don't just slightly overthrow Trey Palmer or whoever that was probably going to score there in the third quarter. It's a different outcome. Um, but he did miss a few open receivers in the second half who at least one of them could have scored, maybe two. The wideouts did let him down at the end. As we said earlier, why was Wyatt Lewer in the game at clutch time? He hadn't been targeted at all, and his tip is why that last INT happens. So, your overall thoughts? That's all I really have on Casey Thompson. I think he's going to be great. I really do. I think he's going to be a good leader, a good quarterback. That, good God, that play he made where he improvised and he ran, it looked like he was going to run, and then he flips around and he just slings that ball down to IGC and just unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable field awareness. Much better than I thought he would be in a situation like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does for the rest of the year. Your overall thoughts on number 11?
Um, I'm gonna wait and see. There were some good things that I could pick out of the performance that he did that I can look
Mm-hmm.
at and see a bright future for the kid. And there were a few things that made me question a little bit. And yeah, upon rewatching, I think if you would call them mistakes, the two interceptions he had, I mean, they were
Mm-hmm.
basically on target. Um, what I remember from Martinez was that when he made interceptions, it's because he threw it directly to the defensive guys, the defenders, the
Yep.
whatever. Um, and I didn't really see that. If he did throw an overpass, underpass, whatever you want to call them, they were safe. He wasn't throwing them directly into the hands of a safety. He wasn't throwing them, wildly left or right to where, it's going to the cornerback because he just didn't get the dart correctly. Um,
Right.
the I guess overall, he shows potential to be a good quarterback, but I'm gonna still hold reservations on calling him a good quarterback or thinking that he's not an Adrian Martinez or whatever whatever comparison you want to make to him with Martinez. Um, I'm just gonna wait and see. I I'd say that his performance, if I were to give it like a 0 out of 10, I would say is like a 6. It wasn't like overly great. It wasn't terrible. It was a tale of two halves. I would say he was like an 8 out of 10 in the first half, and then the second half it was like a 5 out of 10. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it was unclutch. I think what he was doing, where he was moving the ball, I felt like
Mm-hmm.
we were potentially moving down the field in the last 2 minutes of the game. It sure seemed like it.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for that tipped Wyatt Lever
Yep.
attempt for receiving the ball, I think we had a potential to go down the field. But then again, I said the same things about Martinez throughout his entire time being here, and it just never came to fruition. So
Mm-hmm.
until I see Casey Thompson clutch a victory for us, then, whatever. We'll see.
Yep. Yep. I hear you. I can understand that point of view. I just think at this point, I like his potential to lead us to one of those come from behind victories more so than I did with Martinez. We saw 4 years of that, and it never happened. The only time Martinez was clutch at the end of a game was 2018 Iowa. He led us down the field. We scored a touchdown, and he throws the 2-point conversion to tie it up. And then after that, never happened again. Never got close again. So
Yep.
at least it looked like that drive had potential to move. And I liked the effort Trey Palmer gave in getting that first down right before the INT, where he caught the ball and got hit by a couple dudes and broke tackles and got out and got a first down.
Yeah,
that
we was pretty impressive. I forgot
we were
about that.
playing so deep in our own territory on almost every drive after the first drive of the game. It was unbelievable. So I thought he was good. You give me a 355 yards from our quarterback against the Northwestern defense, I'll take that all day, every day, and think that he threw 3 touchdowns. But he didn't. So